So, Governor, in sum, we have a variance of 273,112,000. Which one was higher? The financial statements. Clerk, you read out our observation that the variance was 273 million. When you add that last column, it was 273 million. So you have which one is higher, the trial balance or the financial statement?
The financial statements.
So if the financial statement is higher than the trial balance by 273 million, it means that there's 273 million unaccounted for. So beyond this administrative action training, Governor, how do we close that gap? And where is the money?
Chair, the money is not lost. I think the challenge that the CC was trying to explain can be harmonized through the processes of just said here, in my view. But let me allow her to also explain a little bit on how that gap can be addressed.
273 million, yeah, address yourself to that, because the numbers here, without any opinions or without any feelings, the numbers indicate that 273 million cannot be accounted for.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. As at now, what we've done in this coming financial year, as we've said, we've made the review committee who will be able to go through the report again so that we will capture the right opening balances for this coming financial year, which is still in process. So we will be able to, the processes are in place so that that is the reason why we have 3 levels. You have the financial unit, the financial reporting unit, which the previous ones who were there, we changed them. Now we have a new team who will be able to look through them. And then after they've already made the reports, they'll be able to go to the review committee, which also the review team, they are not in the preparation of the financial statements. And then after this review team, we'll go back to the internal audit for further review. So by doing these levels of checking, we'll be able to curb this, and we will notice it and we will reconcile it back this coming financial year.
The question is, between what you spent as per the ledger and what you reported, there's a difference of 273 million. We must close it for that year. What you're saying are, mitigation in future. If that is a position, then it means we conclude that the 273 million is stolen. It's just that in future, we shall correct it. So how do we close that 273 for that year? What CC has explained is how they're going to ensure that there'll be greater accuracy in future. 273 million, what do we make of it? She has given us a good story of what she will do in future.
Yeah, is it possible just to tell us,
Senator,
auditors, the auditor was indicating that probably you have stashed this money in some accounts somewhere, some bank accounts. That's why there is this variance here. Would that be the explanation, so that we cut the story short?
Chair, allow my chief officer also to explain.
Now it is going to the left.
To the right.
To your right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I hope we score mchezo wa paka na panya tunaenda huko na kule. Okay.
Since it's surrounded by ladies, I believe that they are strong ladies, and
strong ladies,
ladies of integrity. Okay, proceed.
Through the chair, we need to do some reconciliation on the self-reporting units, because there are some transfers which we do to some funds, which at the end of the financial year, they do their own reporting and they are being audited separately. We need to do that reconciliation, and that 270-something million, it's something lying on those self-reporting units.
That explanation should have been made, really. You should have realized that is a problem and reported to the auditors.
No, that is not, you are not answering the question that is on the table. The question on the table is 273 million. Even if you leave the 172 million variation under specialized materials and services, look at the variation under insurance cost. Where your financial statements, you have reported 28 million, your trial balance is 16 million. And our assumption is that the trial balance is a source of truth. So you have a variance of 11.4 million under insurance cost. Insurance cost is straightforward. You buy insurance, comprehensive motor vehicle, GPA, wiper, whatever it is, there should never be a variation. What's in your ledgers really should be in your financial, the same figure in your financial statements, unless you are over-reporting so that you can balance the figures.
Through the chair, as we were speaking of the cleanup procedures we are requesting from the National Treasury, normally, sometimes, now I'm talking of the overall variances, not only on the cash equivalents, cash and normally, sometimes when we process something and we want to pay, sometimes it's hung somewhere. It's not in LB, nor is it in IFMIS.
So where is the 273 million?
No,
where is it?
No, you have said it hangs. Where does it hang?
Where is it hanging?
Where is it hanging? I'd like to understand.
No.
I thought account is about figures. When you say it's hanging where?
Because it's about debit credit. So you have either debited or credited
what I
some
mean
account.
is, the reporting, that's the actual expenditure. There's reporting. That's actual expenditure. But when it comes to IFMIS, I'm talking IFMIS, we have two systems. We have the IFMIS and IB. By that time, it was not online, but when sometimes you have to run, these are two separate systems. You have to run those payments from IFMIS for them to go to IB to be paid. But sometimes they hang. In fact, we have to call National Treasury to help us in such situations.
So, for example, right now, we are on the 16th of July. Since you close the financial year on 30th of June, did the National Treasury give you a window to sort out, to do your reconciliations, to do journals, to close any incomplete transactions?
Those are the cleaning we are talking about.
Was that provided in the prior financial year?
At that time, it was not done. That's
Chief Officer. You are the 47th county we are dealing with. So we have experience with 46 others. That's why I'm asking, today on the 16th of July, from 1st of July to 15th of July, the Treasury gives you a window to update your transactions in IFMIS, to do your journals, to do your reconciliations. That window was available last year. It was available in the prior financial year. It is not a new creation. Treasury, am I telling my own stories?
Chair, apart from the window for clearing and paying for the 5-10 days that are given by Treasury up to 15th July, statements are prepared by 30th August. During this period after the closure of the year, you have all the time to make the journals and ensure that your figures are correct. So the clearing is not even done in the 15 days. It is done after the closure of the year. When you get the issues that were not either cleared or they were not paid, that's the time you are given even a chance by Treasury to void and give the reason why you are voided. So these things, I don't think they should be hanging unless there was another problem with their system, their system that other side.
And there is only one IFMIS for avoidance of doubt, or is there an IFMIS for Tana River that is different from the IFMIS for Homa Bay?
No, IFMIS operated by the MDS, the national government. It's the same one operated by the county government.
So the workflows are the same?
The same.
The functionality of the modules is the same?
The same.
The integration is the same?
The same.
Senator Wambua.
You know, Chair, the Chief Officer has introduced a very interesting narrative, and I wish you would have given her time to run with it so that you also understand. Because what I understand us to be saying is that at the time of the audit, Chief Officer, you want to hear this because you are the one with the story.
Order, Chief Officer, there's a matter that is being addressed.
Yeah, so my understanding is that what the Chief Officer is saying, that at the time of the audit, the auditors came to Tana River at a time that some money was hanging somewhere, I don't know where, and it's so much that almost on every account there is money hanging. So after the money has been released from where it is hanging, Godhana, I believe it must have been released from where it's hanging. Are we able now to trace it now? If we went there, we will find out the money has really been released, it has gone where it was supposed to go.
Chief Officer?
Okay, through the chair, that's what I was saying. The issue of cleanup is to get those, and not that they have been paid. The moment something hung, it's not paid, but it's a transaction hanging. That's why I'm saying the actual expenditure on the payment, that is the IB record. Whatever, whether it's a IB or if we have any self-reporting unit and they have commercial bank, those are the actual expenditures. But whatever is in IFMIS not paid, that's not part of that expenditure. Not unless it's because of the accrual, it's accounts payable.
Excuse me,
Yeah,
won't the system prompt you that there is an error?
No, what I was saying is sometimes.
No, what you have just told us, won't the system, the IFMI system itself, Treasury is here, won't it prompt you that there is an error?
No, it's only that you run something to IB, the requisition is there, you want to pay that something from IB, but it's not reaching IB. That happens, Madam Treasury, that happens.
Chair, let me raise this. IFMIS, the IFMIS data is done by IFMIS system. Trial balance is still produced by IFMIS. INB, it's a separate system for payment into the bank. So it doesn't produce any statement at all.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. These are two, through the chair. These are
Governor, where is 273 million?
Chair, in my view, 273 is there, but we can only be able to have it in true picture after reconciliation, which we say the reconciliation process then comes out 2026, 2027. That's the time when now we can be able to reconcile, which is a process that is ongoing.
So do we take the position that, do we reach the conclusion that we cannot confirm the expenditure of 273 million?
Chair, you can only...
And therefore, we do two things. We either ask the Auditor General to dig deeper or ask the EACC to investigate.
You can only take my assurance, Chair, on this, and probably commit the Auditor General to pursue it with us until it is fully confirmed.
Chair, these statements were for 24-25. If you made a payment in 24-25 from your account to wherever it was going to, and it hung somewhere, the time to do the reconciliation was 25-26. The year that has just ended. If you have not done that already, then when do you expect to do it? Because I thought by looking at the statements, the bank statements from CRF and from wherever that money was going to, if there was anything hanging, so to speak, we must have realized during the just ended financial year and done the reconciliation. If you have not done that reconciliation in the year that has ended, when do you expect to do that reconciliation? In 26-27? I thought that reconciliation should have been done.
That's what we are saying, Chair, here, that we'll be able to comfortably harmonize the reconciliation in 26-27. That's the assurance we're giving.
Now, you are still going to do it with your quack.
Chair, we have formed a new team, as I've said, that we have now these two teams here, the Financial Statement Review Committee and the County Audit Committee, plus the Financial Reporting Unit. So with the new arrangement, we can comfortably now be able to handle the challenge that we have been having in financial reporting.
Your Director of Accounting Services is not in good standing with the Professional Institute. He has no business directing accounting services in your county. The Public Audit Act, I think, gives Parliament the power to declare someone unfit to hold public office in circumstances such as this. And we will need to understand why they are not in good standing. Clerks will need to write to ISPAC, and before we make a recommendation to the House that this person is unfit to hold office, not just in Tana River, but any public office. We'll need to find out the reasons. Maybe it's delay in payment of subscription fees. That could be part of the reasons. But whether they've delayed or not, the fact that the database returns that status, that person is unfit to hold public office, and ideally, these financial statements ought to be null and void, unless the chief officer is also a CPA. Is the chief officer a CPA?
Yes, Chair, the chief officer is a CPA.
Why didn't the chief officer indicate her CPA number? What's your CPA number, chief officer? Are you in good standing?
Yes.
Are you in good standing?
I know I'm in good standing.
You said your number is?
2519.
CPA Bunu Mariam Abdallah. Yeah. Member number 20519. Status not in good standing. That is how you're running the enterprise. Your chief officer, a member of ISPAC, is not in good standing. Your director accounting services, a member of ISPAC, is not in good standing. We cannot confirm how 273 million was used. The enterprise got an adverse opinion. That paints a terrible picture of financial management and financial reporting in Tana River. So instead of talking of generalities that you're going to train staff here and there, start with the people who are primarily responsible for these financial statements and responsible for the custody of financial records. The Senate will be sitting in...
Chair,
yeah,
I want to raise this. Cash and cash equivalent is not an expenditure. It is the actual cash and the amount in the bank. For the county to be able to reconcile this, they must get their cash book at the closure of the year that time, know how much was cash at hand, get to their bank accounts, get the total amount that was in their bank's accounts then get the total and give the correct figure. But it's not an expenditure. There is nothing else they will do. They cannot reconcile without the two.
Now, the Senate will be sitting in Kilifi County from the 21st to 25th of September 2026. That will be Senate Mashinani. Tana River and Kilifi County, they neighbor each other. And I think to go to Tana River, the easiest way is to fly into Malindi, isn't it? Or what's the easiest way to get into Tana River? From Nairobi. Yes, from Nairobi.
You just fly to Malindi.
To Malindi?
Then you drive to Tana.
Then you drive to Tana.
Yes, if you are using the normal flight.
I want to propose, members, that when the Senate is sitting in Kilifi, we dedicate a day to go to Tana River, of course, to see the projects. It's been long since, actually, I don't think this committee has been to Tana River. And then we also do a more detailed inquiry on some of these issues that are before us, especially these 273 million. This one we must get an answer when we come to Tana River. And by the time we come to Tana River, Chief Officer, make sure you're in good standing with ISPAC. Otherwise, you will not be allowed to appear before us. Make sure your Director Accounting Services is in good standing. Otherwise, we will not allow him to appear before us, and we shall declare them unfit to hold public office. So we can deal with many of the issues in this report when we come to Tana River on the 21st to 25th of September. But in the limited time available, now that we have seen what the problems are, I think that conversation has exposed the governance challenges in Tana River. Maybe just to close it, do you have an audit committee now in place?
Chair, yes. Of an audit committee.
Fully constituted?
Yes. In fact, we have just renewed their contracts into the second term.
An internal audit?
Yes, we have.
The internal auditor is here? Okay, so we perhaps will rely on your expertise when it comes to the issue of trade payables, which I want to request that we go to the issues raised by the Auditor General on trade payables, what we used to call pending bills. Auditor General, your first observation on trade and other payables is inaccuracy in trade and other payables, isn't it?
Yes, Chair.
Can you read your finding? In the audit certificate, it is page 6. There are about 3 or 4 issues relating to trade and other payables. In the management response, I can see it is on page 10. So read your finding, we read our recommendation, and then we get the governor's action.
Thank you, Chair. Inaccuracy in trade and other payables. The statement of financial position reflects trade and other payable balance of 4,114,800,096 as disclosed in Note 23 to the financial statements. However, the detailed movement shown to indicating opening balance, additions, and payments made during the year to arrive at the closing balance was not provided for audit. In addition, the Controller Budget Report reflects a total pending bills balance of 2,353,247,286 as at 30th June 2025, resulting to an reconciled variance of 1.7 billion. Further, the balance is net of suppliers' payments and adjustments of Kenya shillings 151,939,074, which have been excluded in the financial statements and whose journal features, together with the relevant accounting documentations, were not provided for audit. In the circumstances, the accuracy and completeness of trade payables balance amount of Kenya shillings 4,114,800,086 could not be confirmed. Thank you, Chair.
Clerk, what was the recommendation and resolution of the House?
Yes, Chair. The House resolved as follows. 1, the County Executive shall provide an actionable payment plan within 60 days, prioritizing pending bills as a first charge of the county revenue on the County Revenue Fund as required under Regulation 41, 2 and 3 of PFM, County Government Regulations 2015. 2, the Control of Budget shall consider efforts to clear pending bills when approving exchequer releases. 3, the county government shall only pay pending bills contained in their procurement plan pursuant to Regulation 52 and 3 of PFM Country Government Regulations 2015. 4, supplementary budgets shall be prepared in the third quarter to curb arbitrary reallocations. 5, county government shall provide a budget for completion of existing projects. Initiation of new projects shall cease until existing projects are completed. 6, county government shall conduct public participation when formulating supplementary budgets, failure to which the Control of Budget shall not approve them.
Did you read our observation? The committee observation. I think it's important that we read that. The breach of the debt to revenue ratio. Committee observation.
Which page is that?
It's in the chairman's brief. I think this was a critical observation that, yeah, please proceed, Clerk.
Yeah, the committee noted that trade payables of Kenya shillings 4,114,800,096 represent 50% of the total revenue, exceeding the 20% limit prescribed under Regulation 25(1)D of the PFM County Government Regulations 2015. This is a serious breach of fiscal responsibility and principles and undermines service delivery.
Okay, so let's get the response from the entity on action taken.
Chair, the management takes note of the committee's recommendations. Page 10. On the inaccuracy in trade and other payables, we have taken the following actions. A, the county treasury has undertaken a review and reconciliation of trade and other payables to establish the accuracy and completeness of outstanding obligations. An actionable payment plan has been prepared, prioritizing verified pending bills in accordance with Regulations 441, Subpara 2 and Subpara 3 of the Public Finance Management County Government Regulations of 2015. The County Treasury has further strengthened controls over the recording, verification, and settlement of payables to ensure that only valid obligations are recognized and paid while safeguarding the county revenue fund. As attached in Annex 6, communication with accounting officers on validation of pending bills. B, the payment plan for pending bills was updated in June 2026 to include the additional allocations in supplementary budget for the financial year 2025-2026. Also, Annex 7, pending bills, payment plan, June 2026. A payment plan for the settlement of pending bills in the financial year 2026-2027 will be developed once the financial year 2026-2027 budget estimates are approved and the allocations towards the settlement of pending bills is confirmed. C, the county executive has proposed Kenya shillings 1.2 billion in the draft financial year 2026-2027 budget estimates for the settlement of pending bills with the aim of facilitating the completion of ongoing projects. Consequently, the initiation of new projects during financial year 2026-2027 has been kept to a minimum. The county executive is currently engaging with the county assembly to ensure approval of the financial year 2026-2027 budget estimates, which this orientation.
Okay, a fairly detailed report on action taken, but it does not address the numbers that have been queried in there. I think you've told us what you're going to do going forward. The query was inaccuracy in the amount reported. So there are three numbers: 4.1 billion, 2.3 billion reported to the control of budget, and 151 million excluded in the financial statements. Auditor General, let's start with the 151 million. In the written responses that they submitted on 30th of March, were they able to justify that amount?
No, Chair.
It was not explained.
No.
In the written responses that were submitted on 30th of March, were they able to reconcile the difference between the control of budgets figure and the figure in the financial statement?
They have not reconciled.
So, Governor, how do we deal with this 151 million, which the auditor says has been excluded in the financial statements, and whose journal vouchers, together with relevant accounting documentation, were not provided for audit? What is this 151.9 million?
Chair, let me allow my Chief Officer to respond to that.
Okay, Chief Officer, proceed. Specifically to the 151 million, because I thought you had explained it in your written responses, but it emerges that it has not been explained.
Through the chair, let me first start with the difference of 1.7 billion between the control of budget figure and the figure in the financial.
That is an easier one. Let's start with the 151 million.
That figure, I'm seeing it very large. That's why I need to explain that.
It's okay. The control of budget is here, by the way. The control of budget is here. So let's deal with your number. 151 million excluded in the financial statements, and whose JVs, together with relevant accounting documentation, were not provided for audit. Tell us about that 151 million.
From our record, we had not excluded any 151, included all payments for the pending bills. That's why first I wanted to start with the control of budget difference, the bigger difference of 1.7 billion.
So you have responded to the 151 million?
151 million, we don't have, we paid, we disclosed everything that we paid.
The auditor says,
I think we need to sit together with the auditors general, at least when they give us that, we do the reconciliation, but to disclose everything.
Order, Chief Officer. The auditor says 151 million was excluded in the financial statements, and their documentation were not provided for audit. Auditor General, is that the position?
At the time of audit, Chair, the imbalance